You are listening to Shaoni, Born from the Light, by Iowan, read by Kevin M. Connolly. Chapter 50. A World Awakening. Too many good ideas never become reality because the process seems too long or too hard for just one person. For any major project to succeed, we need to work together. We can wait for others to do what should be done, or we can join hands and work together, starting today. Let's make it work. As they walked down the city streets, soft music was playing. Shaoni couldn't hear where it was coming from. It felt like angels singing. People passed him by as they walked towards the center of the town. Some looked at him, welcoming him with a smile, accepting him amidst them, always thanking him for having come, yet never saying a word. Ah, words, Shaoni thought. How could they ever explain the wonder and the beauty of all the things he had come to experience over the last year? Then again, in this place, this city where the wizard had brought him, words weren't needed anyhow, as all of the people present already knew somehow. Without them having to say anything, Shaoni could feel it. They all knew about the living trees, the dancing daisies, and the wizard within. They knew about the healing light that lived within us, and about our power to create. They knew we were only just a drop, yet the whole ocean as well. They knew about the energies. Yes, they all knew. As they got closer to the center, the streets got more and more crowded. Still, walking between these people was different from what he had experienced in other cities. These people all had within them this light. Not that the others didn't, but with these people, the light was shining out into the world, to reach others. It beamed out from their whole being. Yes, Shaoni was sure about it. These people, too, had had a glimpse beyond. They knew where we all came from and what we really were. Then again, they also knew about the physical world. They weren't blind to what was happening out there, outside the city walls. They too had witnessed the killing of the light beings and the effects of the hidden agendas on the energy fields. They too had experienced how hatred and anger had withheld the energy rivers from flowing. Yes, they all knew, but more important still, they all wanted to help. All these people filled with one single intention, ready to step forward, back into the world outside the city walls, knowing about what was possible and what had blocked the energies so far. Yes, they were ready. Some of them had already left the city to start their work. Soon many more would follow. And then, even the media wouldn't be able to miss it anymore. They would shift their attention to that new thing that was happening all over, something they didn't yet have a name for, but something worth keeping an eye on. By now, Shaoni had arrived at the center where there was some sort of a market going on. Not a market as we know it, though. More like a market of ideas. Pure ideas, colorful ideas slowly taking form, spiraling up like bubbles of air and water. Shaoni could literally see them. Bubbles of many different colors they were. Bubbles floating up, merging with one another, creating new ideas as they did, creating rainbows of colors, rivers of wonderful sparkling ideas. Ever more ideas were launched, merging with the others. Some would make it, some wouldn't. But even those that didn't were helpful, as they all held the building bricks from which new ideas were in turn born. Shaoni looked around, then looked up again, enchanted by the things he saw. He wanted to stay here, take part in this, be a part of it. He felt how within himself lots of ideas took form. He was just about to launch his first bubble, a most wondrous one, when the wizard suddenly called his name. "Come on, Shaoni. We can't stay here the whole day. We'll come back later, but for now, we've got other things to do." As they crossed the market, Shaoni kept on looking. Just before they left the square, one of the bubbles exploded right into his face, freeing as such hundreds of butterflies. They all fluttered up and into him, soon after to turn back to wherever they came from, ready to form new bubbles, new ideas. Yes, that one hadn't made it, but what a wonderful idea it had been. Shaoni was overflowing with that pure intention to help, the intention he had witnessed in the marketplace. As he walked behind the wizard, his thoughts went back to some of the people he knew. People who had wondrous ideas too, a bit like the ones he had seen in the marketplace. Yet these people didn't know about any crystal city, let alone about the central marketplace. Where could they go to create the floating bubbles? Where could they go to tell the others about their ideas? "Let me bring you to the House of Healing," the wizard once again interrupted his thoughts. "Healing the ill, the worried, the confused. Healing the world, the earth, nature. Healing the unconscious. A place of healing, any form of healing." They arrived at an enormous palace. Shaoni had never seen a place this big before in his life. He felt there had to be 1,000 rooms, and every room he stepped in had at least 5 doors, leading in turn to other rooms, and in every one of these rooms would be people, doing different things, things to help, reaching out. This was the place where the bubbles that had made it lived. Here, ideas and concepts were being turned into realities. Room after room Shaoni would pass through, and in every room he would find people trying to make a difference, trying to wake up the world. Thousands of people helping, hundreds of thousands waiting behind, ready, willing to help. Yes, this was what the wizard would call creating energy at work. Shaoni looked through one of the windows. From here he could see the world outside the walls of the Crystal City. Already it was all becoming visible out there, and it was visible for all to see, for all who wished to see, that is. As Shaoni looked, he slowly realized this wasn't a special city, but rather just the first one in a long row to follow. Thank you for enjoying this chapter of Shaoni, Born from the Light. To hear more of these stories, please visit www.shaoni.net/audio. If you prefer to receive all of these stories in print, visit www.shaoni.net/book.